This evening I'll have a look at this Roberts R707 for a customer who actually I bought a Hacker Mayflower off about a couple of years ago, and I remember him saying that he had a radio he wanted me to have a look at and he was going to pop it round at some point, when he said he sort of got a bit waylaid and other things come up, but he's actually dropped it around this evening, and he basically all he wants me to do is really get it working to a good sort of level. He doesn't want a full restoration on it, and it's in pretty good condition, as you can see. There's a few sort of small dings in the grill. I don't know if you can see in the camera. There's a small ding there and a small ding there. You should be able to push out. According to him, all that it does is there's a bit of a hiss, and there's nothing more than that. I don't know if it's that's the case on long wave, medium wave, and VHF. But I think it may work on long wave and medium wave, I'm not sure, but if it's the VHF problem, it's more likely to be this the dreaded module problem that these things have. So yeah, the R707 has got when it's working, it's a lovely sounding radio, one of the sort of nice warm sort of sounding radios of the sort of like the late 60s, early 70s. So these are quite a desirable radio, and I think probably one of the best sounding Roberts radios, and probably actually, not everyone says that, but I think probably better sounding than a lot of the Hacker radios as well. So it'd be nice to get this up and working as best we can. As I say, he doesn't want to spend a lot of money on it, changing capacitors and things. I think he just basically wants to get it going. He has another one. He wants this one in his camper van. He's got the mains version, which must be the R707 MB. I'm sure Radio Crunch will correct me if that's wrong, but I think that is the case. It's the MB version. So around the back, let's have a look inside. It's got the traditional lantern batteries that they have. There's usually like a wooden slot that holds the batteries in place. I've left that at home, so that usually there's a wooden brace that holds the two lantern batteries in. And inside it looks in pretty nice nick, no problem there. It's got silicon transistors on. It looks like the output stage here, and we've got the RF modules. I don't know, let's zoom in a bit so you can see. So that's the IF module here, which is most likely going to be the problem. And we've got the RF section here, which I think has got, I'm not sure, but I think that might be silicon transistors in that. So I think the first thing to do is we'll plug it into the supply and see what it does. Out of interest, this what looks like a wire isn't a wire, it's actually a piece of elastic, and often what they used to do is they slide the coil down the ferrite rod, and that's your tuning, and basically the rubber band acts as a bit of resistance and friction to stop it sliding around. So that's normal. That's not a broken wire. So what I'll do is I'll connect up an external supply, power it up, and let's have a look, see what it does. Okay, so let's power this up, see what we get. So I'll just connect it with an external supply, that Farnell power supply. I don't know if you can hear that. You've got hum, so audio amplifier's working. So we can buzz out a few things. Let's try and find the volume control. Can't get it easily, but yeah, audio amplifier's working, so that's a good sign. So we're on long wave at the moment. Let's give the IF module a tap and see if we get any response. Now this is doesn't always work, but it's always a good start if you're suspecting tin whiskers on these IF modules, just to go around and give the modules a tap. Not hard, just a gentle tap. And we're listening for crackles and pops from the speaker, and I do that. And if we're lucky, the set might burst into life. So let's give that a go. There's a pop from the speaker. So we definitely got something going on in there. Yep, there's definitely something going on in that IF module. Alright, I don't know if you can hear that. volume as loud as it will go, but there is definitely... Now these IF modules, they are split for the AM and FM, so there's two separate cores, two sets of cores, one for the, I think it's 465 kilohertz for the AM and the 10.7 for the FM section. And if those transistors aren't working, the whole thing grinds to a stop. And no. Every now and then you'll get the thing to just burst into life briefly. Now, it's not obviously not a permanent fix, but it will prove the point that that's what's wrong with it. It's quite a loud click from the speaker, so there's definitely a problem with the IF module. One other thing we can do, just to see if the whole set's dead, because we're on AM, I've clipped it up the signal generator. I probably haven't explained this before, but my signal generator, when I do this IF test, there's an old aerial that's underneath the bench, underneath my bench I'm working on. It's one of the old valve radio loop wires, and I just connect that up to the signal generator, and that just forces IF into the set really. It gives you an idea if the IF stage has got any life in it at all, so I'm just going to sweep it through 455 and see if we can hear any. What I'm going to do is what. There we go. We've got something. Might be just overloading it, but that's quite unusual actually. It's not actually peaking where you'd expect it to. This is you'd expect a peak around here, 455, and then it go quiet again, but it's just getting louder and louder. So there's something really screwed up with the IF, because it's sort of working to a degree, but it's working at totally the wrong frequency. So let's just try VHF, just making sure we haven't got dodgy switches, of course. The switches sound okay. Give that a tap again, just to see if we can get it to work on VHF, but it should be exactly the same. It should be the same thing, the same transistors involved. No sign of it working. Okay, so we're going to have to work out what we need. But first of all, I think we need to do is take the radio apart, get this module out, and then I've got to really decide what I'm going to do. Am I going to replace them with the Russian transistors, which I quite like the idea of actually. Particularly because it's a customer's radio. I want this to, once I repair this, I want this to stay working. So I think what I'm going to have to do is track down some of the Russian GT, whatever they are. I looked them up. I was looking for them last week actually. Track down some transistors for it, get the module out, and whilst it's out, I'm going to check all these Philips capacitors, these Philips axial capacitors that you see in here. Just to see if they need changing or not. Probably don't, but we'll run them on the ESR meter. But first things first, let's get the IF stage working and see what's happening. So this is the first part of the video, and the second part will be hopefully getting the transistors and installing them.